One morning, Swedith, Goose, and Lina were sitting around near the pond, listening to the sounds of Tink's piano. After a while, Lina got up and started pacing back and forth, tossing her head and grunting to herself.
Something on your mind, Lina?
Lina, unhappy. Want to find something?
Maybe Goose and I can help you.
No,
You don't like us?
I have to find by myself.
What are you looking for that's so mysterious?
I don't know.
How are you gonna find it if you don't even know what you're looking for?
I don't know. I'll know when I find it.
Huh! That's the strangest thing I ever heard in all my years of being a goose.
Lina, go find.
Well, good luck there, Lina, old buddy.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So Lina started off on her trip. She thought that if she just walked around, whatever she was looking for would pop up and plop down beside her. She lumbered past Jowl's pig pen and then slowly plodded down the path to the orange grove. Every now and then she stopped and looked around, waiting for something to happen, for something to jump up and say, "Hi, Lina, I'm what you're looking for." But nothing did. So a little disappointed, Lina continued her journey, watching a bit more carefully to make sure that she didn't miss anything. Unfortunately, Swedith had done such a good job of sweeping that there was very little left to find. But Lina went ahead and started burrowing in every little hole and bush.
Empty.
Wherever she looked, she found nothing. Finally, she started to walk over toward the trees next to the beach. On the way, she stopped and looked down at the ground. Yes, there was something. But then Lina looked again. It was just a strand from Swedith's mop.
Mop. Yeah. Lina reject.
And so Lina continued on her way. It was getting late, and her stomach was grumbling anxiously, anticipating her large noontime meal. Also, the long walk was tiring her. So now, discouraged and weary, she began to think about going back to her pool for a rest. But she just had to find something. So once again she started to burrow, this time keeping her nose right on the ground. But still nothing. Sighing and disappointed, she stopped a minute to rest and sat down heavily. In fact, she sat down so heavily that the trees next to her shook a bit. Suddenly, Lina felt something fall gently onto her back. Surprised, she turned around and looked to see what it was. And to her delight, she saw a little yellow flower with 2 tiny petals. Lina purred in contentment.
Ah, I'm overjoyed. Pretty flower.
Slowly she bent over and let the flower fall to the ground. She turned around and inspected it, glowing with happiness. For this was what she had been looking for. It was a perfect flower.
Lina love flower. Lovely flower. Like Lina.
Lina sat around for a while, admiring her flower and patting it gently. Then she decided to walk back to the center of Tina and show all the other animals what she had found. So, slowly and lazily, she wandered over to Beanbag Pond, holding the flower delicately in her mouth and singing to herself.
Diddy-dum-dum, diddy-dum-dum, diddy-dee-diddy-diddy-dum-dum-dum, diddy-dum-dum, diddy-dum-dum, diddy-dee-diddy-diddy-diddy-dum.
As she came near the pond, she saw Swedith, Goose, Tink, and Snee sitting by the water dipping their feet.
Hey, everybody. Here's Lina.
Hi, did you find what you were looking for?
Lina find. Lina happy.
Well, what is it? Don't keep us waiting.
Hey, Lina. What's that you got in your mouth?
It looks a bit like a flower to me.
In fact, it is a flower.
Huh? What What are you doing with a flower in your mouth?
This is my flower. I found it.
Now that's what you were looking for, huh? Why didn't you say so in the first place?
I didn't know till I found it.
It's a very pretty flower, Lina.
On close examination, I would say that it is indeed a very sensitive and delicate flower.
Lina love flower.
Hey, Lina, now that you don't got a seed in your nose, you got a flower in your mouth.
And so Lina and her flower joined the others, and they all sat and soaked and talked and laughed. Later in the day, when the sun began slowly to sink in the sky, all the animals left the pond, and Lina, lumbering sprightly with a big smile on her face, walked back to her pool, holding the flower gently in her mouth. She had indeed found what she was looking for.